Hello everybody and welcome to JT Coding. Today we are going to be building an escape room game in the terminal. Now this is a project for beginners, so it's really easy to do, a fun thing that you could do for quarantine. I'm only going to be showing you guys how to make one level because the rest is really just up to you guys. But I'll just show you the basics on how everything is done and how you guys can do stuff yourself. So yeah, today we're going to be using something called repl.it. It's a online coding editor, and it's really great. So I like using it. I also use Visual Studio Code. This program can be done in Visual Studio Code just as easily as it can be done at repl.it, but I just wanted to show it off and show you guys what you guys can do with this. So it's just spelled like this, repl.it. I don't know if it's repl.it. I just call it repl.it. Anyways, so we can go up here and create a new repl. So obviously you're going to need to create an account. And if you're doing this on Visual Studio Code or some other editor like Sublime Text, then just ignore this whole like new repl thing. You just create a new file for your program. So here you'll get to choose between a bunch of different languages. We're using Python, obviously. And here you will name your repl, and we're just going to call it escape room vid. All right, and we'll create the new repl, and it says it's created. It'll load up here, and this is where you'll be doing all your coding. Over here in the left side, you can add files, add folders. And here there's some other stuff that we won't be using, but you can definitely check out yourself. Here you can see is just your username followed by the project that you're working on. Up here you can click to run your programs, and you can also check out some examples here that help you get started. So what we're going to be using in this escape game is mostly while loops, if statements. If you don't know what that is, this could help you figure out some of that stuff. I'll explain a bit as I'm going along. And you do need to know some basics, but if you don't, you can try and follow along. If you get it, that's great. If not, then you can check out another video on some more Python basics and stuff. So for the actual escape room, we're going to be making it all in the terminal, so all in here, which you can print stuff to the terminal by using print, and then some sort of string here, so like hello world, like the simplest program. Run it here, and you can see it says hello world. Also, if you take this, like this link here, and you go to it, it'll actually take you just to run the program, and it'll show you the terminal of the program that this is on. See, it says escape room vid, so it's specifically for this. This is taking a bit to load. We'll just use this. Open it in a new tab. Alright guys, so it's not working right now. That might be something with my internet. So we'll come back to this later, see if it works later. It should work fine with you guys, but basically it's just a whole tab dedicated to the terminal, and it'll show up in black and white instead of this blue color. Anyways, so we have print, so we can print, and then another function we'll be using a lot is input. And so this is, well, you get input from the user, and it'll actually pause the program whenever you put this input in. So like, let's say we say print hello world, and then we'll do print what's your name? Question mark, and then we'll put one of these. And then we'll take the input from the user, and we will print. Actually, what we do here is to store the input, you'll just say like name, like you're assigning a variable, and set it to the input. And then you could print hello, which actually we'll do a formatted string here. hello, and then space name, welcome, or something like that, right? You run this, you can see what's your name, and then you see here you have a space to type, and when you press enter is when it will give the input. So I can do Jordan, that's my name, right? Hello Jordan, welcome. So this is very useful in the escape room to like move, to get directions, like which way do you want to go, yes or no questions, stuff like that. Something else is that in input, if you actually put in here a string, it will take the input from the same line. So like usually what I like to do is this, and add the space there so there's space from this when you're typing it in. So here if we run this again, you'll see it's what's your name, and then you've got this greater than sign here, right? And then you can type it in, and it just shows that like that's where the input's coming from. If you just click enter, it will literally give the program nothing. It'll just give it nothing, and that is also very useful because that will be returned as, you can check that. Like you can check the string as a Boolean. So like let's say if name, it's like if name is true, meaning if name has input, then you can print welcome. I probably should have just saved it. And then else, meaning if name is false, meaning it has nothing in it, print sorry, you didn't enter a name. And then we can run this here, and you'll see if I just click enter, it'll say sorry, you didn't enter a name. If I run it again, what's your name? I say Jordan this time. Then I'll just say welcome Jordan. So we can use this to check if the player is just clicking enter or if they are actually typing something in that we need to take in. So that's very useful that we're going to be using. We'll also be using while loops, which are pretty straightforward. So it reads kind of like this: while variable is true, run this loop. And like let's say somewhere in this loop you change the variable to false, then the loop will stop. Of course, you wouldn't just want to change it to false right away. You'd want to have some if statements, so that way it loops until it needs to be false, and you need the loop to end. That's also very useful. And when taking input from the player, you will be, like, let's saying decision. Decision? Is that how you spell decision? I don't think so. Anyways, just ignore my spelling. Decision? It might be right. I don't know. I'm not the best at spelling. Anyways, decision, and we'll set that equal to the input. We can do this little input thing here. And then we can check if the decision is equal to a specific thing. So if the decision is equal to y for yes, let's say we ask them a question, right? Then you can print you said yes. And else, or elif, we can say decision is equal to no, and we can print he said no, which the reason I did elif instead of else is because else here would be if they enter in any random character or they just click enter, then we could pass and just ignore it. Or we could just leave this blank, and if anything else happens, it won't even do anything. So, or we could do, check this out, if we do else, we do break, and then we tab all this in. while true. So if you do while true, the loop will just loop until it's broken, until you use this break. The loop will continue. So now, if you see here, actually we should cut this, place this in here, so that way it continues to ask you. So if we run this, I forgot to actually ask the question, but it wants you to say yes or no. So if you say yes, it'll say you said yes. If you say no, it'll say you said no. And that'll continue until you either don't click anything or you enter in something random, and then the loop will end and the program will end. So for the way the game is going to look, since it's going to be in the terminal, I've already made kind of like art, kinda. I'll show you what I mean. I'll grab it from my other file, the project that I worked on originally, and show you guys what it looks like. Also, I'll include all this stuff down below, so that way you guys can just copy and paste it. Alright guys, so as you can see here, I copied and pasted from my previous, my older escape room that I had made just a bit ago, before this video. And so this is sort of the artwork for the game, you know, what you'll be interacting with, sort of. And basically what I did here is I created images, like the middle of the room, and then the dresser while it's closed, and then the dresser while it's open, and the dresser while it's already been open. So basically just the difference is there's no key showing there. And then a painting here for a part of the puzzle, the door when it's closed, the door when it's opened, and the level complete. And as you guys can see here, I just do this add space, which space is defined up here as 25 lines, just blank lines, right? And also to clear the screen, I use 50 blank lines. And so yeah, that's how we're gonna get this to look like an actual game. And so you guys can make your own of these. Definitely, I encourage that. Basically, all you got to do is make sure that the square here stays the same size. And if you're writing stuff in here, I left 3 lines here, 1, 2, 3, that I could put text into if I wanted to. And then the rest is just blank space. Oh, I messed that up. What? Okay. So it's put into a different file here, this images file. And the first step is going to be to import that file. So import images.py. Oh wait, no, you don't put .py. You just put import images because it is a Python file. And now when you want to call one of these images here, like middle or dresser closed, you would just say images dot dresser closed, and you see there it'll automatically grab the string that looks like an image, which right here, if you didn't already know this, there's 3 single quotes right there. That creates a multi-line quote, and that's how I was able to put like multiple lines in a single string. So as you see here, if I print this and I run this, you can see that it prints the dresser here and just says enter password. So now comes the actual logic part of the game. What we're going to be doing is building a big while loop that will contain an entire level. Now you can split this up into functions, but for the simplicity of the video, I'm just going to be using one big while loop and a bunch of if statements in order to get this to work. So the first level, we're just going to do while true. So this is going to run until it's broken, until the loop is broken. So when you start the game, this is going to be at the top. What's the first thing you're going to see? You're going to see the middle of the room, right? So we're going to want to print. So anytime that you want to show one of the images, you have to print it out. So print images dot middle. You're going to print the middle first. You see here, if we run this, as of right now, it'll actually constantly print the middle, so that's not good. That's why input helps to stop it from looping infinitely like that. And then you're going to want to put an input. So it's going to be one of these little things here. And we do want to keep track of what the player chooses to do here. So we're gonna call this one choice is equal to whatever they say. Or actually we can change this to direction, would be a better word for that, better name. So basically what we're going to be getting here is which direction of the room they want to move to. We're going to have right, left, and forward. Forward being the door, left being the painting, right being the dresser. So we've got the input of the player, and now we want to check what they chose. So if direction is equal to right, we're going to do the dresser first. Alright guys, so something I actually forgot about back here in the input section is that you're going to want to put dot lower here with these parentheses, and basically what this will do is take the input and change it to lowercase, whether it's already lowercase or uppercase. So that way, no matter what the user inputs, you can just check the lowercase version. So we're just going to use R instead of right or left because we want it to be easier for the player to make their decision, right? So we've got direction, and this is if they choose right. What we're going to want to do is print the... Oh, actually, wait. We're going to want to check and make sure that... check if the dresser has already been opened, because they can come through here multiple times. So if, which we haven't actually made a variable for this yet, but if dresser opened, so if it's already been opened, then we will do something here. So first we're going to want to put the dresser opened and set this one equal to false. So at the start of the game, the dresser will not be opened. It will be closed at the beginning. But if the dresser is opened, we will print images.dresser opened. And we'll take an input, add one of these things. However, we do not really care what they enter because there's no decision to be made here. So we're just going to leave it like this, and it's they can type whatever they want, but no matter what, once they press enter, it'll just take them back to the middle of the room. So here we're done. Alright, so now for the else. So if the dresser isn't opened, which is what we're going to expect to happen at the beginning. So if it isn't opened, we will want to print, that's horrible, print images.dresser closed. Okay? Because if it's not opened, it's closed, right? Simple enough. Then we're going to want to take the input of the user here, except for this time we do care. Because this one, we're actually going to set this one equal to password. Because this is where they're going to be trying to get into the dresser, which will have a 4-letter password lock on it. So we do care what they enter. So here we're going to have another if statement. If the password, which we will want to change to dot lower again, if the password is equal to, which you can set this password to whatever you want, but for the purpose of this video, I'll just use lost. So if the password is equal to lost, and you want to do this lowercase since anything entered will be in lowercase. So if the password is lost, then they guessed it right? So we're going to want to change a few variables. First, we're going to want to set dresser opened equal to true, because now they've opened the dresser. There will be a key in this dresser to unlock the door. So it's not going to be that difficult of a puzzle. So we'll say has key, set that one equal to true. So now they have the key, right? Which we got to actually set this up here. So has key is equal to false at the beginning of the game. So now they have the key. the dresser is opened, and we want to print the dresser opened, which I forgot to put images, very important. Images.dresser opened image. Take another input. This one's just the same as the last one. This one's just to pause the screen where it is until they press enter. And add the space there. So now we're done with the if the dresser is closed. So there we go. Else, oh no, we don't need to change that. What we do need to do though is we need to tab all this forward and put this inside of a while loop. And we'll just set this one to while true. While true. So this one will repeat until it's broken, which we will break it right after they click enter, so break, and then they'll be able to leave and go back to the middle of the room, right? So that's it for that little section right there. So now we have the entire right side done. So we can go back down to here and click elif, type elif, direction is equal to, now we can do left or forward, which I will do left since it's very simple to do, so we'll do this one next. We're going to want to print the images.painting, because that's what's going to be on the left. Take the input here. We don't really care because there's no interaction with the painting, so if you click enter, he'll just leave that area. And there you go. That's literally it for the painting section. It's just to look at, so we don't need to code anything else in there. Elif direction is equal to forward. We're going to want to print, oh, well, yeah, we'll print the door. So images dot door closed. We're going to print the door closed because if they get here, they'll open the door anyways. So we're going to print the door closed. And then we're going to check if has key. So if they have the key, then we will want to print the images dot door open. So they open the door if they have the key, which first we're going to want to take an input here just to pause the screen. They can press enter to unlock the door. And if they don't have the key, it'll just take them back to the start. Alright, so then here we're going to just do another input to pause the screen again. Like that. And once you get to this point, the game is basically over. So after this, we'll just print images.complete, which is just the complete screen. And then the input, like so. And then we will break the main loop here, and the game will be over. Alright, so let's check out what we have so far. Make sure we're not missing anything. I'll pull this all the way up to the top here and run the game. Okay, it says you're in the middle of the room. Enter R to go right, L to go left, and F to go forward. Now, I had already written this with the image here. So if you want to write something, just put it with the image, right? So it says, press R to go right, L to go left, and F to go forward. So we're going to go to the right to take a look. Oh, sorry, I'm not in the terminal. Press R to go right, and you'll see it'll ask you to enter the password. Let's say we don't know what the password is. Just enter this, and you'll just see that the screen is printed over and over again because, well, we don't know the password. So if you just click enter without typing anything in, Oh, look at that. Well, we forgot something. We're stuck at the dresser. So let's go check this out. To the right, dresser open. This is going to be while the dresser is closed, so here. Ah, yes. So if password, or we'll do if not password. So if no password is entered, not we'll just change true to false and false to true, in case you didn't know. If not password, then we will also break the loop and just exit this little area. So now let's try this again. That should work. Alright, so I don't have this pulled up all the way. Let's go to the right. It's not entering anything. We return. So we can go to the right again, and we can type in anything, and you'll see it just keeps going every time you guess. If you just click enter, you return back to the center of the room. Now we can type in L and go to the left. There's a painting here, no real explanation. I'll explain it to you guys since you're the ones making the game anyways. There is actually, if you look very carefully, there's an L here. There is an O here. An S up here. And a T somewhere in here. I don't remember where it is, and I'm having difficulty finding it. This is embarrassing. Alright guys, well I actually just can't find the T. I might have erased it on accident when I was editing these pictures, but either way, we can either enter in the T, or if I'm just blind and not seeing the T right now, then it's fine as it is. We can go in and fix that later. It doesn't really affect the programming of the game, just sort of the making of the image. So basically what you do is you come here, you find out the letters, and you have to unscramble it because I obviously didn't put them in order since there's an S up here and an L here. So you kind of unscramble the message, and you figure out that the word is actually lost. So you can click enter, and you'll leave that area. As you can see, we can go back and forth. We can even go to the left and type stuff in. It does not care. It'll just take you back to the middle. So now that we know that the password is right, you can go to the right, or you can type in lost. Look at that. It opens. I don't see the key though. There's supposed to be a key here, right? If you saw in the images, there was a key right here. So we must have messed up. We must have entered them backwards. So let's just check this out here. Dresser opened. We should see a dresser open. Yeah. So this should be dresser open. That's the only mistake there. So you can stop this, run this, check this one more time. As you guys can see here, we can choose to go to the right. We already know the password, so we can type in lost. Actually, wait. First, we should check out the door. So if we go forward, you see the door is locked. You press enter, it just takes you back. If we go to the right, though, you can type in lost. Now the key shows up. You found a key. And then we can click enter, return us back to the middle of the room. If we click to the right again, you'll just see that the key is gone, but the dresser's still open and shows the password. You go back to the middle, and you can check the left again, make sure that that works. You can go forward to the door, and now if you click enter, it'll actually open the door. Click enter again, and it'll say level complete. So that is how you make the escape room game. So that one's pretty simple. You guys can always add your own levels. It's just about making the proper art for this, and you know how to do passwords. You know, just do normal rooms, keys, right? You can just set a variable to have the key, right? So yeah, that's how you guys make a very simple escape room game. If you guys have any questions, be sure to comment, like, subscribe if you like stuff like this. I'll actually be posting how to code something a bit more advanced in a couple of days. I'll be showing you guys how to code an artificial intelligence that knows how to play Flappy Bird from scratch. And I actually have a video explaining how I did this. Not necessarily a tutorial, but if you want to check that out and see how I thought through it in case you wanted to do it on your own, you can check that video out too. I'll show that one up in a bit here. And yeah, so that's everything. If you have any questions, be sure to ask. I'll definitely share this code with you guys, these images here. If you're confused about anything, let me know. I'll try and help you out or and do better in the next video, definitely. So if you wanted to do another level, guys, you would just place the other level's code. Oh my god. Sorry guys. Down here, and it would start the next level. So yeah, if we run this, I can actually just show you real quick. Go to the right, type in lost, get the key, go forward, open the door, next level, and we can... Oh, well, the dress is already unlocked, but basically what you would have to do is reset these variables if you're going to use the same names. And then it should restart the game again on the next level. So, yeah, guys, I had fun doing this. Let me know how your guys' turns out if you have any problems, any issues, but that's it for today, guys. Thank you.